Hello.
How's it going?
I'm awesome. How are you?
Good.
You must be Daniel.
Yes, I am. I love your, I don't know how you say it in English.
Bow tie.
Bow tie? It's beautiful.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Daniel.
Thanks to you, sir.
Where are you from, Daniel?
I am from Spain, from Barcelona.
That's fun. I've been there before.
Really?
When I was married, we went there for our honeymoon.
Really?
And it's a funny story how I got to go there. Let me tell you the story.
Sure.
So before we got married, I thought, let me see how I can be helpful.
Wait a moment. Somebody
Yes.
was calling me. I'm going to talk him to.
Absolutely.
Your story is
For sure.
interesting.
Yes. Go ahead.
No, I'm just telling him. Can I call you later?
Absolutely, yeah. You let me
He's
know when you're ready.
thirsty. Go ahead.
Yes, so I told that then-to-be wife, I said, how can I help with the preparations for the wedding? I wanted to make sure that you have not all the work. And she said, maybe if you could help find our honeymoon. I said, wonderful. We talked about maybe a trip to Greece. We wanted to visit Greece, but we said we can't afford Greece. It's too expensive. So we suggested maybe we'll go to New York. We'll go to New York. So I was in my grad studies at the time. My classmate's wife, she's a travel agent, and so I asked for her help. And I said, help me figure out a good plan. And I told her we would love to go to Greece, but we can't afford it, so we're thinking maybe New York. Could you help me find something? She said, okay. She calls me 2 days later and says, Binyam, I found a wonderful opportunity within your budget to go to Greece. I said, wonderful. And so this was going to be my surprise to my wife on our wedding, saying, guess what, we're going to Greece, you know. So I made arrangements and we locked in that trip. And then before the wedding, about a week or so before the wedding, I think it was, I was finishing my exams here. And then I get a message after my first exam on my Facebook, and she writes me a message, Daniel, and she says, hey, have a fantastic trip. Don't forget your sunscreen. And I said, that's nice, but this is too soon. Like, we haven't even gone yet. And she knows it's a surprise. So why? Oh no. And so I quickly scrambled to find the itinerary to find out, hey, what's happening? Like, when was I supposed to go? Because we were getting married at the end of May. May 29th was when we were getting married.
May 29th, my father's birthday.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And it was only May the 1st. No, it was May the 2nd. And I said, so I looked at the itinerary. In my mind, I had been planning to go in the beginning of June,
Watch
not
out,
May.
he's here on the left.
Okay, thank you. And so as I was going to make the arrangements for the wedding and the honeymoon, I was thinking we're getting married at the end of May, so of course we have to be in the beginning for our honeymoon. And as I did that, I by mistake said May the 2nd instead of June the 2nd. So we had made our plans. I'd made our plans for our honeymoon a month before the wedding.
Before the wedding.
Yes. And so I said, oh no. So
That will be classic me.
oh, learn from my example then. So then I called her very quickly and said, listen, I made a mistake. She said, oh boy, Binyam, I need to go and try and find out what I can do to get your money back. Long story short, Daniel, we lost the accommodations in Greece. So that was all gone. She said, I can still save the flight for you. I can't get you the money, but we can redirect you to somewhere else if you want. So I called my wife and I said, listen, here's my surprise. It's not a surprise anymore. Well, she said, what are you going to do? I said, well, I don't know yet because I have to find out how much we're going to get back. And so we made plans to say, let's make a simple trip then. Just go to, we'll just go to Hawaii. Simple, you know. So that Sunday at the church that we were going to, my friends had told my story to the church saying, oh, Binyam, you know, I wasn't there because I was with the kids teaching, but my friends from school went to the church and said, guys, Binyam's made a big mess again. And so afterwards, you know, people were coming to me and saying, oh, that's a tough story. Oh, we're sorry about this. And so I said, it's all right. The pastor came to me and said, listen, before you make any more plans, come and talk to me. I said, well, tomorrow, Monday, I'm going to make some plans for Hawaii, so I'll call you before I do that. Later that afternoon, after I got home, I got a call from one of the young guys at the church. He's from Scotland, but he has a very strong Scottish accent. And he said, Binyam, I heard your story. It's terrible. He said, listen, I have an idea. I just talked to my family. We have a vacation home in Spain. I just checked with my family. No one's there. If you want, my family would love to invite you and your wife to go and spend your honeymoon there if you want. Everything's free. All you have to do is look after how to get yourself to our vacation home in Spain, and then you're set. So then I said, I've learned my lesson. I'm going to call my wife and ask her. So I called her and I said, listen, I got this offer from one of the friends of the church. What do you think? Do you know what she tells me, Daniel?
What?
She says, Binyam, ever since I was a teenage girl, I've always dreamed about having my honeymoon in Spain. I said,
No way.
how? How come you didn't tell me all along? And she said, well, I didn't want to, take over all of the planning. I wanted your input as well, too. So I said, should I go for it? She's like, yes, go for it.
Please, no.
So I said, we'd love to take this place in Spain. So I made plans. I called the pastor back and said, listen, here's what we did. He said, oh, that's wonderful. And then he said, listen, your friends here at the church, the church wants to say goodbye to you and wish you well, before you go. Would you be willing to come to a special party we're going to put together to say goodbye to you? I said, oh, that's really sweet. So I went that week after I finished my exams to this party on Thursday night. The church had gotten together. The youth that I'd worked with made a really beautiful card for me. They all signed off something. And I thought that was it. It was just a meal and, saying, hey, we really appreciate you. It was really sweet. They had me in tears. But then, at the end of it all, they said, something else we did. Now, this is just 5 days after I did that service on Sunday. Then at the very end, they said, as well, we've also put together a little something. We've all collected and contributed, and we've raised this amount of money. It may not be much, but we want to give this to you as a way of helping you for what you lost.
Oh my goodness.
This is a very small church, a very tiny church. But that Sunday when my friends had told the church, I did not know all these plans that they put together. They took a little collection and said, oh, okay, let's see if we can help them.
That's really nice.
The amount of money that they collected was just over what we had lost.
Really?
Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing.
And so it was like one of those, it was a big goofy fumble on my part.
Yeah.
And yet, it turned out in a really beautiful way. And so we were able to go to Spain for our honeymoon for a good 2 weeks,
That's
we stayed at this vacation home. We traveled as much as we could, including Barcelona. It was a beautiful time. And it was unexpected.
Do you remember where was the house? The city?
Yes. It was in Escondido?
In?
No, sorry, that's in California. Let me think here. Granada.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, there's like a really...
You gotta be kidding me.
Seriously, it was like...
It's one of the most beautiful places in Spain.
It was gorgeous. It was amazing. I know. It was beyond what we could have been able to have access to, right? So,
that's really sweet.
I thought so too. So that's why I was like, I know a little bit about Spain, just a little bit, mind you.
That's a really good story.
Thank you.
Really, really good story.
I like sharing that story again, just because it's one expression of really kind acts in humanity. Still,
it was a really kind move. Wow.
Additionally, it's also an encouragement to some who think that the world is still like a really terrible place with many mean people, and so
that story really melts my heart, to be honest.
Oh, I'm glad.
I'm not having a really good time now.
Oh, why's that?
I moved to Calgary because a job offer.
Yes.
So when I was there in Barcelona, I have a really good life. I was building my home.
Yeah.
I actually bought a house outside Barcelona.
Yeah.
Which is very difficult to get because in Spain, especially in big cities.
Yes.
It's mostly young people like me.
Yeah. Yeah.
The most that we can afford is to rent an apartment.
Yeah.
A tiny apartment.
Yeah.
But I never wanted to live in an apartment.
Yeah.
Because I've been traveling around the world all my life. I've been in the United States, in Canada, here.
Yes.
So I was like, I want to live in a house.
Yeah.
I don't want to live, in a flat with neighbors.
Yeah.
I'm really very antisocial person. Not really antisocial. I'm very introvert.
You like your space.
Yes, and intimacy. And in Spain, nobody respects that.
Yeah.
Your neighborhoods makes a lot of noise.
Yeah.
And me, I'm very quiet at home. I'm trying not to bother anyone,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
That's why I love Canada. I've been here in Canada. I got a lot of offers from the United States. I thought, no, you know.
Yeah.
But I got an offer from Canada.
Yeah.
And I already bought my house like a long time ago.
Yeah.
We took down, you know, the house. It was the right moment because Spain was in crisis.
Yeah.
And I was saving money for all my life almost, you know. And I was only 28, and it was like, this is the money because I want it so bad, you know. And I'm saving all my money to buy a house.
Yeah.
And I told to my fiance, you know, we were going to get married also.
Yes.
You know, the house was going to finish, and suddenly 2 Canadians they call me and say, hey, we have an Americans partners that we are trying to make some deals with them, and they told us that you are an incredible on this field. I say, well, I'm glad that they told about that. I say, yeah, apparently you make consulting to them, and they are incredible satisfied, and we would like you to make some consulting to us. It was an LP, a licensed producer of cannabis here in Canada. I'm an expert on pharmacology.
Okay.
I'm an agriculture engineer, but specific on medicinal plants.
Yeah.
You know, all pharmacology. You know, and there's no so many people in the world with that skills, right?
Yeah.
So they came to me, you know, we met in California first. Then they came to Barcelona begging me to go to Calgary.
Yeah.
I said, okay, you know, I'm actually very